Hansen Itutemak, TR Wheatley, Nisiga Asun. Welcome to APTN National News. The Métis Nation, Saskatchewan is calling for immediate action to address a drug and alcohol-fueled crisis of gang violence in its communities. Also declaring a state of emergency as leaders warn more lives will be lost if something isn't done. With more, here's APTN's Mike McDonald.
The resolution by the Provincial Métis Council is designed to empower the MNS government to engage with the provincial and federal governments to support community-led initiatives to address this issue and establish culturally grounded solutions to addiction and violence in Métis communities. Two Métis Nation Saskatchewan councillors had this to say.
When you see homes that are being boarded up because of crystal meth use, and you have to wait a year, go through a process before cleaning those homes. And so in small northern villages, it's visible, it's alive and well. When you're going to the local grocery store and being threatened by a bat from a drug dealer's mother, or when you're going to the local restaurant and you're getting jumped for your sneakers from somebody struggling with addiction, right? So it is rampant.
I want to see immediate action, and like we were talking yesterday, we do have mobile outreach in Regina, Prince Albert, Saskatoon. We have a mental health line. We have, emergency homelessness dollars that citizens can access. I want to see these going out to more of our communities and then showing the need. And, it's unfortunate that we have to let it get to this kind of a crisis and where our folks are dying and families are being, displaced.
Discussions are said to be already underway with affected communities to establish a land-based treatment facility. Leadership says with immediate commitments from the provincial and federal governments, construction can begin. Mike McDonald, APTN National News.
The body of a missing Norwegian hiker has been found in northern Manitoba. RCMP say the body of 29-year-old Stefan Schutelvik was discovered Sunday just north of York Factory. He was reported missing August 15th after failing to arrive in the remote community about 850 kilometers northeast of Winnipeg. Police believe he attempted to cross the fast-moving Hayes River and was swept away by the current. Searchers, including members of nearby First Nations, had recovered his backpack and rifle last week. Schutelvik was on a cross-country continental journey through the Canadian wilderness. His body has been flown to Winnipeg, where an autopsy is scheduled. Mounties are thanking community members and volunteers for their help in the search. A new space race is on with its launch pad in a Northern Ontario First Nation. The nonprofit Launch Canada is hosting the only permitted experimental student rocketry event in the country. CTV's Lydia Shubak brings us the story.
About a 90-minute drive from Timmins and in Matagami First Nation territory is where you'll find the ideal location for firing off rockets. The nonprofit organization called Launch Canada says this is the only place in the country that's permitted rocket launching to take place.
We have municipal, provincial, and federal support to do this. I think there's really a vision for Canada to develop this aerospace industry, and it starts with our students, whether university or high school. And right now, the high school students in Timmins and Matagami have been top-notch and are really building the future of this industry.
More than 400 students are participating, including some from Timmins, and there are teams from about a dozen Canadian universities, including Carleton, Alberta, and Saskatchewan.
The McGill rocket team is just about to raise its experimental hybrid rocket, which has taken tens of thousands of work hours to build. And it's a rare moment because it takes many steps of testing to get to this point, and very few Canadian universities even make it here.
But Launch Canada says there is a huge need for more rocket scientists, and this challenge is an opportunity to motivate more youths to consider rocketry as a career.
There are now multiple rocket companies in Canada on a race to build the first Canadian rocket to go to orbit, because as we build our country and make one Canada strong, we need to have our own access to space.
This is the fourth year Science Timmins has brought a contingent.
You should see their faces when their rockets go up. It's just pure joy to see them excitement, and everybody's clapping. There's lots of spectators here. Everybody claps when it's a good launch, and even if it's not a good launch, doesn't matter. We had one small failure this morning, but no big deal. You learn something when something fails.
We just built it from a kit, so we got step-by-step instructions on how to build everything, and then we put our motors in today, and now they're ready to go.
3, 2, 1, ignition.
Even though LaPointe says she wants to be an orthopedic surgeon, she says learning about rocketry teaches her how to be more innovative. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Matagami First Nation.
Great story. A filmmaker from Sandy Bay First Nation in Manitoba has recently received multiple awards for her latest project, Ojichaag. Rachel Bolio's short film has been screened across Canada at multiple festivals this year. Our intern Maya Katu spoke with Rachel about her process.
I just wanted people to see it. That's what I was hoping for.
Rachel Bolio is a filmmaker, producer, and director from Sandy Bay First Nation in Manitoba. Her recent short film, Ojichaag, has been taking off in film festivals across Canada, winning awards.
The Audience Choice Award at Kimberley Film Festival, and then the next one from the Nunavut International Film Festival for Best Horror. So I was like, I'm still waiting for it in the mail, so I'm going to have a trophy.
Bolio says she was surprised with how the audience reacted. She spoke about the happiness she felt seeing people come to watch her film.
I'm really happy with the awards that it's receiving, and people have been connecting with it.
Ojichaag is a short film following a woman who seeks comfort in her choice to end her life.
Ojichaag is inspired by a true story. Somebody close to me shared their story, and I decided to retell it in a narrative way.
The film follows Mary as she wakes up in a strange world while contemplating suicide and meets an Anishinaabe spirit.
I didn't want to misrepresent the spirit in the story, and I wanted to include the language, and it kind of just still developed from the script to when we shot it to when we edited it. So it kind of changed a little bit, but it had more meaning by the end of the film.
Bolio says her writing process is unconventional.
My writing process is a little crazy. I pick one song that I feel is like a theme or kind of fits through the whole film, and I played that song on loop just to keep me in this mindset, and I spent a couple nights writing it and then rewriting it and then kind of seeing is this true to the story of what this is.
Bolio says she wants the film to have more distribution and a community run to connect with more people.
Just remember that I'm hoping to do a community run because this topic is suicide, and I want people to watch this and they might connect to it in a different way than somebody who maybe has thoughts of suicide, or people who have had family members that have committed suicide.
She hopes to continue to make films that connect deeply with audiences in the future.
I always tell everybody, I want to make films that make people cry. And not just because they're going to be sad, but it's just there's a connection that creates that little lump in their throat, and they'll if there's a big emotion, they'll remember something. Just connecting with people and making them think more about their lives and do more, and just reconnect and talk.
Bolio says that she enjoys directing the most and wants to continue to grow in the film industry.
In the beginning, I was kind of wanting to stay with one route, but now that I have a bigger connection, I see there's so many more opportunities and different styles that I would like to learn.
Bolio is also an advisor and board member for the Winnipeg Indigenous Filmmakers Collective, taking part in their monthly general meetings and more.
If you're interested in film, come down to the Winnipeg Indigenous Filmmakers Collective. If you're not sure what you like, or if you know what you like, you can come and share some skills, or come and learn something, make friends. We're here to make space for you, and we'll just keep building each other up.
She continues to make space for other Indigenous filmmakers and hopes Ojichaag will be available on streaming platforms in the future. For APTN National News, I am Maya Katu in Winnipeg.
We're always looking for your feedback or story ideas. Here's how you can continue the conversation. If you have a story you want to share, send us an email to news@aptn.ca. To read and watch our stories, go to aptnnews.ca. You can also find us online on your favorite social media sites, including TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. Follow APTN News to join the conversation and see our latest stories. Time for a quick break. Christine Ajicote speaks to a mom in Alberta who's searching for answers in her son's death when we come back. Welcome back. Our next guest is Dorothy Laboucaine, the mother of the late Terrence Christopher Laboucaine from Onion Lake First Nation in Saskatchewan. She's speaking out, hoping that her son's story will lead to justice and arrests made by the RCMP, as none have been made to date. Terrence Laboucaine was found deceased on June 13, 2023 in Ermineskin First Nation in Musqueam, just south of Edmonton in Alberta. According to Alberta RCMP, Laboukaine's death is being treated as a homicide but would not share any details with APTN News. The RCMP would only say the investigation is still active. Terrence's mother is also very critical of the Alberta RCMP and says a public press release about her son's death was never released. Christine Ajicote spoke to Dorothy from Lloydminster recently. Here's that interview.
Dorothy Laboucaine, thank you for speaking with us, and I'm very sorry to hear that there has still been no arrests made since your son's passing in June of 2023. Can you tell us what happened before your son Terrence Christopher Laboucaine was found deceased in Ermineskin First Nation in Musqueam, Alberta? I understand he was homeless at the time.
Yes, he was homeless. And the thing I don't know is, all I know is that there was a party in Ermineskin. And what happened at that party, I don't know. But on June 13th, my son was found under a mattress. And there's five of them that are involved. And on June 14th, I had made a missing persons report. June 15th, I was notified that he was deceased and that he was found. And how they knew about his who he was they had to do a fingerprint on his left hand, which he was already pretty much very decomposed.
Dorothy, can you tell us where the RCMP is at in their investigation in finding who may be responsible for your son's death?
They have 3 possible suspects. They are trying to get the other 2. And they said they had a bunch of like cameras and phones and tablets or whatever, which they were getting all the evidence from or whatever. And that's basically all I heard, except for now that you guys are involved, the media is involved, the constable, or not the constable, the sergeant came, the homicide sergeant came and seen me this morning to cover his tracks after 2 years. Came from Edmonton to see me. Dad Don Smart. And I asked him a bunch of questions and basically told me the same thing that he's been telling me for the past 2 years.
Yeah. Based on what you told us at the time, the Alberta RCMP didn't put out a press release to notify the media and public about your son's death. How has this decision made by the RCMP impacted you and your family?
And
I understand it's been very hard. It's been very hard for you.
unknowing Knowing that when my son was found, he was a John Doe. And I think of how many other parents have gone through this and not knowing that their child is a John Doe somewhere in some ward. And how and why. So many unanswered questions.
Yeah. Dorothy, I understand Terrence leaves behind a wife and children, and he would have turned 38 this year. Can you tell us what kind of person Terrence was?
Terrence loved his family. He loved his kids, his siblings, me, his dad. He was a very carefree person. He did everything he could for his children and his ex-wife. And they did communicate with each other about the kids. And the youngest one was 12 when he passed. He was killed.
Dorothy, what is your message to Alberta RCMP? What do you want them to know about this investigation?
I want them to know that I have every right to know what exactly they're doing, how they're doing it, and what other steps they're going to take besides not tell me what exactly is really going on. Because they're afraid that I'm going to go tell the whole world or I'm going to go vigilante. I don't know, but I want the answers, and I want to know that those people are going to get caught.
Dorothy,
where's my son's file? Somewhere.
Yeah. Dorothy, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you for your time on this.
Yeah. Thank you.
One last break here. When we come back, we bring you some stories from our colleagues at NITV. Starting in the east, St. John 7, Charlottetown 17. Kuujjuaq 12, Nain 11 degrees. Val-d'Or 20, Quebec City 24. Sault Ste. Marie 19, London 25. Big Trout Lake 9, Sioux Lookout 16. Churchill 15, Norway House 16. Barons River 15, Brandon 17. North Battleford 20, Regina 23. Uranium City 18, Buffalo Narrows 13. Fort Chipewyan 14, Peace River 21. Edmonton 27, Medicine Hat 30. Bella Coola 10, Kamloops 22. Dease Lake 9, Smithers 15. Old Crow 9, Mayo 20. Norman Wells 17, Trout Lake 10. Tuktoyaktuk 5, Colville Lake 19. Cambridge Bay 15, Chesterfield 13. Arctic Bay 8, Iqaluit 5. Australian tennis icon Yvonne Goolagong Cawley says more coaching is needed to develop First Nations talent across the country. The 74-year-old is in Darwin for the 6th National Indigenous Tennis Carnival. Here's Michael Rennie with NITV News.
It's a tournament for talented juniors and those who are new to the game. The National Indigenous Tennis Carnival is bigger than ever.
Right now, it's probably like my favourite thing to do, just to have fun and play the game.
It's about the celebration of our First Nations people, the opportunity for them to thrive, and these opportunities to play this beautiful game of tennis.
This year, 16 teams are taking part from every state and territory, including 12 remote NT communities.
This event is the main event. It's the pinnacle event in the First Nations tennis pathway.
The tournament features 2 streams of play, one for performance, including a competitive showdown, and one for participation.
I love just hitting the ball, getting out and running, and I've been playing for about, since I was like 4.
I was born around NRL, like all my family was like footy and that, but when I had my first lesson on the court, I just loved it.
The carnival is the brainchild of Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley and her husband Roger.
I'm just excited to see all the kids today who've come through the program in the last 6 years, and they're up here somewhere.
Cawley believes more can be done to keep Indigenous kids playing the game of tennis.
I'd like to see more coaches to go out there, to be able to go out to more communities, not just here in NT, but all around Australia.
We're actually training up people in the community to help coach tennis as well. But I use the word coach really loosely because you don't need to be an expert at tennis to play.
Here at the National Indigenous Tennis Carnival, winning isn't just measured in sets and games. It's about the friendships made, the confidence built, and the cultural experience these players get to have. How far do you want to get in tennis?
I want to try to get at least like Wimbledon and French Open. I want to try to win those.
Michael Rennie, NITV News.
Adelaide, Australia's only aged care home for First Nations people is bringing elders and local children together for a playgroup. The sessions are full of laughter, stories, and cultural learning, bringing joy to the young and the young at heart. Here's Marcella over at NITV News with that story.
Young and old together making damper. This unique playgroup is bringing elders and toddlers together as part of the Murra Elders Playgroup. This is where dreaming stories are passed on, language is heard, and the role of elders as teachers is honoured. Launched during Reconciliation Week this year, the program runs every fortnight where people from this Aboriginal elders village are joined by local children and their families. They sing, laugh and go on scavenger hunts together.
We're working with a number of First Nations families here and our older friends, and they bring so much to this experience. Being able to speak in language, pass that cultural connection on to the younger and next generation.
Helping build stronger connections, one story, one smile and one song at a time. Marcella Sinalunga, NITV News.
And that's your daytime newscast. I'm TR Wheatley. Join us again tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. From all of us at APTN in front of the cameras and behind the scenes, Agase, Gitam, Kawapamitinanaw, Mino, Puna Panil.